What are some of the best ways to maximize your chances of a healthy, long-term relationship? Ways that'll work no matter who you are. In this video, we're going to explore 3 strategies that, if implemented, will guarantee that you do better at finding somebody who's right for you and keeping them longer. The 3 strategies that I'm going to talk about today make up what I like to call the relationship filter. The filter's goals are to help you attract the right person for you and keep them for the long term. Let's get right into strategy 1. Become who you want. What do I mean by that? Well, this step is all about figuring out who it is that you actually want to be with. Seriously, take a second and think, what kinds of qualities do I want in my dream person? And these can be anything you want, as weird or as boring as you'd like. Just make sure they're things that you would want in the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Even better than just having a list in your head, write it down. Takes like 30 seconds. Watch, I'll do it right now. Confident, good sense of humor, respectful, and willingness to grow. See? That easy. Now those are just a few of mine, but it's a good start for anybody's list. Keep in mind that this list is going to change over time. You'll add stuff, you'll take other things off, but this list is meant to be adaptive and dynamic and grow with you. This is where the become part comes in. If you're expecting your future partner to bring all these amazing qualities to the table, what do you bring to the table? Do you at least bring the same? Think about it. If you had all these amazing qualities, I'd hope that you wouldn't settle for less than what you're worth. So why would somebody else with these amazing qualities settle for you if you don't have them? This step is all about developing yourself into someone anyone would be lucky to be with. Become who you want. Here's some actionable advice for the traits that I just mentioned. Confidence is in large part built by proving to yourself that you are who you say you are. What's a way of doing that? Follow through. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Keep your word. If you constantly fail to keep your word's going to start to mean a whole lot of nothing. Not just to others, but to you. You'll start to know yourself in your own head as someone who doesn't keep their word. And if this becomes a habit, it means that not only will you not keep your word with other people, but you won't keep your word to yourself. You won't even be able to self-commit, you won't be able to self-motivate, and you won't have discipline. Another element of confidence is letting your actions speak for themselves. Confident people don't need to exclaim that they're good at something for other people to know. And confident people don't need other people to know for them to feel like they're good at it. Actions speak far louder than words. So let your actions speak for you, and people will notice your ability without you needing to advertise it. You don't need to be a stand-up comedian to have a good sense of humor. A big part of it is simply being able to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously, and understand that most things can just be laughed off. Something my dad told me when I was young, and it stuck with me to this day, is something is only embarrassing if you act like it is. When something that could be seen as embarrassing happens, if you don't act like it should be embarrassing, people won't know what to make fun of, and they'll just join you in laughing about it. Respect is often the little things, like just saying please and thank you, being courteous to each other, and even respecting each other's time. Be punctual. If you agree to meet somewhere at a certain time, don't be late, or at least try not to. Part of respect is that it's not something you give. It's something that the other person feels like they're getting. Those might sound the same, but here's the difference. You could be doing everything you're willing to do, and the other person still might not feel respected. In my version of respect, they'd be right. There are certain needs that they have that, if met, would result in them feeling respected. But those needs aren't going to be met by actions you're willing to take. When that happens, that might just be a compatibility issue, and you just go your separate ways. And willingness to grow is literally just as simple as recognizing that learning is a lifelong thing. It's not something that stops after school, it's not something that stops after university, and it's not something that stops after you have kids or when you get in a relationship. You learn forever, or at least you should be. And if learning is a lifelong journey, and you want to have that with another person, you have to be willing to compromise and both grow towards each other. Growing closer together rarely happens by accident. It takes intentional efforts, sacrifice, patience, perseverance, and both people working every day towards that common goal. Alright, on to strategy 2. Now that you've become someone desirable, it's time to realize that most people you ever meet in your whole life are not going to be right for you. There's a reason why they call it the one. Now, I don't believe that each person only has 1 out of 8 billion people in the entire world that they could be with. No. But we should be very picky about who we choose to spend our time with, especially the rest of our lives. This person's gonna sleep in our bed every night, eat all our meals with us, and be the other parent to our children. Who you spend your life with is a big deal, and it should be treated as such. This strat is split into two parts. The first is not chasing after everyone you find interesting. Don't chase after people who don't want you. You shouldn't have to beg for love or attention. Now this should be common sense, but obviously the person who's right for you wants you. When two people are right for each other, it's not one person chasing the other. They chase each other. They might be the cutest person in the whole world, but if they're not interested, that's okay. You shouldn't want them. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. You'll find someone else. It's funny, we can get so caught up in that one person that we're fixated on just in that moment, but we fail to realize that there are just so many other people in the world. There's an endless amount of people that we can meet and eventually find. The second part of this strategy is genuinely being yourself. Think about it. You've put up a front, and now this person who you've been with is in love with who they think is you. But you can't keep a front up forever. When the chips are down, money's tight, there are problems in the relationship, maybe the kids are being annoying, whatever, they're gonna see right through you. You're not gonna be able to keep that front up. And when they see right through you, they may not like what they see. Now this part becomes so much easier if you've already succeeded at the first strategy. If you've worked hard on yourself and have built up all these amazing qualities, why wouldn't you be genuine? There's nothing to hide. That's the benefit of being a genuinely great person. You don't have to hide, and you can just let your genuine self attract people who like you for you. Now the last strategy in this relationship filter is one of self-respect, and that's willingness to walk away. Now willingness to walk away isn't about threatening to leave all the time or holding your partner in a constant state of suspense. It's about making sure that they treat you right, because if they don't, you'll find somebody who will. Willingness to walk away is about knowing your own worth and recognizing that if someone isn't willing to treat you with love and respect, they don't deserve you. You've worked so hard to build these amazing qualities into yourself and to select somebody who you think is right for you. This is your last defense. This is your last filter. In a healthy relationship, you need to be comfortable setting boundaries and expressing to the other person when you feel they've done something you don't like. If you live in constant fear of setting boundaries and expressing yourself, that is not a relationship you should be in. You should not be held hostage. Here's how I like to think about it. If blank is enough to end the relationship, then that's probably not a relationship I wanted to be in the first place. Of course, you need to apply your own judgment to this rule, but if something fits in the rule, apply it to the relationship. Here's some examples. If setting boundaries is enough to end the relationship, then that's probably not a relationship I wanted to be in. If speaking my mind is enough to end the relationship, it's probably not a relationship I wanted to be in. If wanting to be treated with respect is enough to end the relationship, that's probably not a relationship I wanted to be in. If things don't work out, that's okay. Life will go on, and you'll take with you the lessons you've learned. With everything you're going to be putting in to make this happen, the last thing you should be doing is settling for okay. After all, these strategies are meant to help you find somebody who's right for you and then keep them for the long term. You gotta find the right person first. Now, I'm not saying these strategies will be easy. They'll be hard. Really hard. You're gonna have to say no a lot, and that's harder than it sounds. Saying no is really, really hard. You'll have to work at things with people, maybe several people. Maybe you won't find the right person on the first try. Maybe not on the second try, or the 5th try, or the 10th try. But you have to keep trying, and you have to understand that you are worth what you are putting in. It's for you and for your future children and for your future partner who is right for you. You'll have to be patient with the ones who are willing to grow with you. It's going to be very, very hard, but we owe it to ourselves to do hard things. We only have this one chance on Earth. Worthwhile things don't come easy, so fight for what you want. With these changes made, you'll now be somebody who anyone would be lucky to have. You'll be able to filter out the people who don't want you for you, and you can be confident that in any relationship you're in, you can make sure you're treated with respect. I wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who made it this far. This is my first video, so all the support I can get would be hugely appreciated. Hit those like and subscribe buttons and let me know down in the comments what kind of videos I can make next. See you in the next one.